I have MCU fever. I have been watching all of Phase 2. Well, actually, I watched the Avengers just a couple of weeks ago. So I started Phase 2, obviously, after I watched the Avengers, because that's normally what you do. But I have really been watching a lot of the MCU. I just finished Guardians of the Galaxy a couple days ago. So I kind of want to start getting caught up on my Road to Doomsday review series. With that said, hi, if you haven't seen any of my other MCU movie reviews, go check them all out. We're through Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Hulk, and Thor. We are now on Captain America the First Avenger. Before I dive into my thoughts on this film, if you would, tell me yours in the comment section down below. I would love to know all your thoughts on Captain America the First Avenger. While you're down there, if you would, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 300 by July. Hit the like button and the bell so you never miss another video in the Road to Doomsday review series. My past with the First Avenger is growing up. I've already talked about this on this channel. I was raised in a very Christian household. I still am a big Christian. We got Jesus back there on the studio. But I was never allowed to watch any of the Iron Man or Captain America movies until I was like 14 or 15 because like there's just too many mature elements in it. So when I first eventually got to watch the First Avenger, I thought it was fine. There are times where I've watched it, I'm like, I love this movie. There are times that I'm more definitive on it than I am right now. Captain America the First Avenger is very good. Yes, it is very, very good. And what the thing that I love about this movie is I just love the origin story of Captain America. I love it. He is a hero who is very much in the right, and he very much wants to stop the bad guys. And it's very cool, it's very inspirational, and you just love this character, a guy who wants to do anything he can for the good. He wants to be good. He wants to help America fight the Nazis. That is his goal throughout the movie. It's not that complex. Like, there are complexities with his character, absolutely. He's just a soldier who wants to kill the Nazis. And that is really, really good. A character arc, considering the Nazis were some very bad people. But I just love this origin story of him, you know, at bad health, doing anything he possibly can to get out there. And that eventually leads him to taking the super soldier serum, to becoming Captain America, and just being the hero that he is. This is a story that I love. And it's really, really helped out by the fact that Chris Evans was cast as Captain America. I say the name Chris Evans, you know him as Captain America. Back when this movie released, you say the name Chris Evans, you know him as the Human Torch or some douchey people in some movies. Just complete a-holes in a lot of movies that he's in. He was not the right pick to play Captain America until he got Captain America. And now nobody else could ever play this character. He is perfect in here. Obviously, we're reviewing these movies after the rest of the franchise, so I can tell you the rest of the franchise he is phenomenal in, but he's just really good here, just playing this character that wants to do the right. The rest of the cast is great as well. Obviously, you get Sebastian Stan in there as Bucky. Chris Evans and Sebastian Stan have such great chemistry. You got people like Tommy Lee Jones making an appearance in here, which is just really fun to see inside of an MCU movie. So it's got just a really good story that I love, that is inspirational, but you also got a perfect cast inside of this movie as well. This is a movie that visually is amazing. It's directed by Joe Johnston, who is the director of the original Jumanji movie and Jurassic Park 3. I tell you that, and you might say, is he a fit for Captain America the First Avenger? And I will say 110% yes. This is a movie that visually is so much different than anything inside of the MCU. It's obviously got that flair of, you know, being back in the old days in, I believe, the 1940s is when World War II took place. And so you got the color scheme, the flair, the visuals. It all looks really good, takes you back to that time, and it feels like, out of Phase 1, it feels like the most distinct movie out of all of them, where Thor, actually Phase 1 overall is just a very distinct phase, where you get Thor, which is just like a Norse mythology film that has the visuals interesting in that movie. You get the Incredible Hulk that just looks kind of colorless, if I'm being completely honest. Then you get the Iron Man movies that just look glossy and sleek. And then you get this movie that puts you inside of this era and the time, and it just looks great. The cinematography is phenomenal as well. The action is shot quite well. There are some really good action sequences within the movie, so there's always that. The film itself is very entertaining. And the score. That's a big thing we gotta talk about. The score. Because in all of the Captain America movies, the score is phenomenal. In fact, in all of the Marvel movies, scores are always phenomenal. I have been listening to the Guardians score, the Winter Soldier score, and the Iron Man 3 score, and the Avenger score on loop for the past month, because they're just really, really good scores. And I think the Captain America franchise itself, the score here is my favorite within this entire franchise. So overall, Captain America the First Avenger is a very good film. I wouldn't say great. And I think my big issue with the First Avenger is the back half is just so rushed. You get the first half of the film where it's about Steve Rogers trying to do anything he possibly can to become a soldier. And so you're following him, his character arc throughout the first half of the film, his origin as he's taking the serum. Then you get the big action sequence, and then the government decides to bench him. He goes on tour, and then you get him the big moment, like, I can do this, I'm going to go rescue these people, and you get the big rescue sequence. As soon as the rescue sequence is over, and I'm thinking, this movie is phenomenal, it's definitely one of my favorites of the MCU, and then you move on to the rest of the movie, which is a bunch of montages of World War II and a bunch of battles. Which you watch the movie, and it's a bunch of battles. Yes, because that's what World War II is. But when you have montage of battle, it's hard to feel the emotional weight of the film, considering in that montage you get Bucky's death, and then the final act where Steve sacrifices himself. That is a lot of emotional weight that I just did not feel while watching this movie almost every time I watch it, because we go from kind of taking it slow, building up to what's going to happen in the end, and then we just go so fast and you get sacrifices, and I just don't feel any of it because it's so rushed. And so every time I watch this movie, I get to the back half of the movie and I'm like, okay, this kind of lost me. It lost me a little bit. And for what had potential to be one of the best things inside of the MCU, with all that emotional weight, it sucks that I didn't feel any of it. It slowed a lot more down in the Winter Soldier. You buy the relationship and you feel the loss of Bucky in the Winter Soldier in Civil War, and then obviously when you get Bucky back. But I didn't feel any emotions while watching this movie, and I feel like that's because it was done so quickly. So it's a very frustrating back half of the film. There's still some things to grasp onto. The action, the style is quite good. I just couldn't connect with anything once we just hit the montage stage of the movie. Before I give you my final score of Captain America the First Avenger, if you would subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, and of course, most important part, comment down below. What are your opinions on Captain America the First Avenger? I would love to know all that and more. And with that said, I love this story so much. It has a phenomenal cast, the action, visual style, the score, all phenomenal. The back half is so rushed to where I just didn't feel any emotional weight within the film. So overall, I kind of left, every time I watched this one, just a little bit disappointed. With that said, Captain America the First Avenger is going to get a B+ from me. This week, I'm going to try to review the Avengers, and maybe even put out my Phase 1 ranking this week to try to start getting a little bit caught up in the Road to Doomsday review series. But we also got Hokum releasing. I also have a live stream coming this week. So with that said, stay tuned for all that. If you would, do me a big favor and subscribe.